In this video, I'm going to show the 4 best morning hip pain relief exercises for instant relief. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, we're going to go over 4 easy exercises that you can do every single morning in bed to help stretch and strengthen the main muscles associated with hip pain. That way we can get both quick and long-lasting relief. A note about the exercises, each one works just a little bit differently. They're going to target different muscles. To get the best results, go through them all and use what gives you the most relief. With that being said, let's get started. So the first thing that we need to do in the morning is a warm-up exercise. Just bring blood flow in, improve circulation, and just make it where we're able to move a lot more freely with less pain. So here is a really good one. Let's start lying flat on our back in bed or on a floor. Have your legs roughly hip width apart, knees bent, feet flat. What I like to do first is called the windshield wiper. We're going to take our heels and just gently press them down into the bed or the floor until we feel the muscles around the hip, the glutes, start to fire. Just a light activation of these muscles. From here, what I'm going to do is take my knees and slowly swing them towards one side, lowering them down towards the floor. I really focus on moving through my legs and through my hips. Try to keep the back flat. As you do this, you're going to feel a really good activation of the muscles around the hips. Go to the point where it is a comfortable stretch forming in the hips, not to the point of pain or discomfort. If you start to feel that, back off slightly. You're going to hold this position for a second or two, and then just like a windshield wiper, you're going to go towards the other side. Do this one nice and slowly for about 10 to 15 repetitions, and with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. I always say with these repetitions, treat it like breaking through rust, just only to your comfort level. Afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels like it's really helping out, but you need a little bit more, you're more than welcome to throw in as many repetitions as you like. So the next movement is called the butterfly. For this one, we're going to take our feet, put them together, and then again, just gently press our heels down into the bed until we feel a light activation of the muscles around the hips. What we're going to do this time around is take our knees and just put them together, closing our legs. Hold that for a brief second, and then just like a butterfly, we're going to flap our wings, our knees right here, downward. Press them down towards the floor as much as you can until you feel a really good stretch form on the inner part of the thigh that works towards the groin into the hips. Once you feel that, hold that for a second or two, and then just flap back up and just keep doing this 10 to 15 times. And again, with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. So the last movement is going to focus a little bit more on strengthening these muscles. It's really important to build as much support around the hips as possible for long-lasting hip pain relief. This is called the clamshell bridge. What we're going to do, again, is put our feet together, gently press them down into the bed or the floor till we feel the light activation of the glute muscles. We're then going to wing our knees downward until we feel that stretch on the inner part of the thigh. Once we've done that, we're going to hold that position and now brace our core muscles. It's like when somebody pokes you in your stomach, how you tense up. Mimic that and hold it during this exercise so it will help protect the spine. I also like to lightly squeeze my glutes or my buttocks so I engage those muscles. Take your hands, put them off to your side for support. So from here, the movement is very straightforward. We're just going to lift our hips upward towards the ceiling until our body is in a nice straight line from our knees to our hips to our shoulders. If you're unable to get into this position because of weakness or pain, like you can only go up a little bit, do the best you can. Hopefully over time you will gain strength and flexibility. In this position though, you're going to feel a ton of muscles start to fire. The core, the back, your butt, your legs, everything that helps support the hips. Hold this comfortably for 3 to 5 seconds, relax, take a breather, and then repeat this 5 to 10 times. But if you would like to challenge yourself, try to throw in another set or 2. This exercise is what I call the hip arc, and it's really good at finding the weak links around the hips. We're going to start lying on our side with the painful side up towards the ceiling. Just make sure that your body is in a nice straight line and you can support your head with your hands just like this. So let's take this top leg, keep it straight at the knee, and just slowly raise our leg and foot upward towards the ceiling. The more that you go up, the more that you're going to feel a deep activation of the muscles in the legs that works towards the hips. Once you feel it in the hip, you're going to hold this one comfortably for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then you're going to slowly lower your leg back downward, but resist against your leg weight. So we're going to resist against our leg weight going up and down to hit as many muscles as possible. I like to do this for about 5 times, and with each repetition, challenging myself to lift up just a little bit more. So at this point, the muscles should be really warmed up, and now we can take it to the next level by adding in some hip rotation. So the movement is very similar, but this time around, we're going to lift one leg up and then take our foot and turn it outward as much as possible. What this will do is put the hip into external rotation, and you're really going to feel the muscles around the hip start to fire. Again, for about 3 seconds, you're going to hold this, and then when we come back down, we're going to turn our leg and foot inward as much as possible, putting the hip into internal rotation, and then we're going to lower it back down like this. But again, try to do this one for about 5 repetitions in both directions. From here, if you really want to take it to the next level, you can do what is called the hip arc. So this time around, instead of keeping my leg straight with my body, I'm going to slowly just bring that foot forward a little bit, maybe about a half a foot, and then I'm going to repeat this exercise because you're going to notice that it hits the muscles just a little bit differently. So with each repetition, just swing your foot a little bit more forward and keep repeating this over and over again until you can't go any further. You're going to find that one certain spot is just the hardest position, like it just feels like it's really tight, achy, or just weak. At that point, I would stop over that position and then repeat this about 5 times. And you can also swing your leg backward like this to target the muscles a little bit differently. This one's really challenging for me, but go through as many different positions as possible and try to identify those weak links. Just remember, when you're done on one side, switch to the other side and repeat to help keep everything in balance. So one of the absolute best exercises to build overall hip stability and strength is by doing what I call the bird dog hydrant. For this one, we're going to start on all fours in bed, or if your mattress really isn't that firm, I would recommend doing this on a floor. The first movement is called the bird dog. What we're going to do is take one leg, we're going to take that side's foot, the top of the foot, keep it flat on the bed or the floor, and just slide it away from us as much as we can while also pointing our toes away from us. You should feel a deep stretch form in your calf muscle that works upward towards the back of your thigh over the hamstring into your hip. Once you feel it around the hip, you're going to now hold this position and slowly raise your leg upward like this so it's roughly in line with your body. You're going to feel a ton of muscles start to fire. The core, the back, the glutes around the hips, all the way down into the leg. Hold this one comfortably for about 5 seconds, relax, and then you're going to repeat this on the other side. Do this one nice and slowly for about 5 repetitions on both sides. But if you would like to challenge yourself, try to throw in another set or 2. So to take this one to the next level, what we can do is called the hydrant. So this one right here, instead of taking our leg like this, we're going to take one side, keep that knee bent at 90 degrees, and we're going to swing that knee, moving through our hip, and just swing it upward towards the ceiling. With this one too, I like to kind of rotate my whole body to look upward. Now you know why we call this one the hydrant, but you're going to feel all the muscles around the hips start to fire. Hold this one for about 5 seconds. You're going to relax, and then you're going to repeat this on the other side. Again, do this one nice and slowly for about 5 repetitions. But if it feels like you have a little bit more energy, try to throw in another set or 2. So this is a modified dead bug exercise. The dead bug is one of the best and safest ways to strengthen the core muscles, which are essential for supporting the hips. Let's start lying flat on our back in bed or on a floor. You're going to have your legs roughly hip width apart, knees bent roughly at 90 degrees. Take your hands, overlap them like this, and place them right over the top of one knee. Now take that knee and drive it towards your chest as much as you can, but resist against it with your hands and let your hands win this battle. The more that you press into your hands, the more that you're going to feel the hip flexors right here on the top of the thigh start to engage. Hold this one comfortably for about 3 to 5 seconds and then release it. What you're going to do with this leg now is straighten your knee and let your leg lower towards the bed or the floor, but don't let it touch. Just let it hover about an inch or two, because in this position, you're going to feel the core, the back, and the glutes all engaged to stabilize this. Hold it comfortably for about 5 seconds and then relax. And then you're going to repeat this on the other side. Do this one nice and slowly for about 5 to 10 repetitions on both sides. But if you would like to challenge yourself, try to throw in another set or two. But if you would like to take this one to the next level, you can start to add in some hip rotation. So let's get back into our original position just like this. But as we lower our leg, what we're going to do is turn our foot inward as much as we can, putting the hip into internal rotation, and then we're going to sweep our leg inward as much as we can. You're going to feel a deep activation of the muscles around the hip and the pelvis. Hold this one for about 3 to 5 seconds and then relax, and then repeat it on the other side. You can also focus on external rotation. So just lower your leg down like this. This time around, take your foot, turn it outward as much as you can, and then sweep your leg out. But I would go through all of these movements. You're probably going to find that one is just the hardest to do. Maybe it really addresses tightness, weakness, or achiness. At that point, I would throw more repetitions in until everything is nice and loose, or it feels like you got a really good workout. If the exercises help, please support the channel by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.